Hello everybody, Jet here, and today we are going to be talking about Gorbad Ironclaw, the Brutal Tactician, and the general updates to Greenskins, or Orcs and Goblins as they've been calling them recently. Anyway, let's have a quick look at him. So, infamous amongst other war bosses, Gorbad Ironclaw rose to fame, leading his tribe on countless successful wars. It was also he who first built Iron Rock, one of the most redoubtable orc fortresses in the old world. Conquering orcs and goblins was never a real challenge for him either. It was his many horrific deeds in the Empire that saw him elevated to legendary status amongst his own kind. Whilst his methods of warfare would be considered archaic by human, elf or dwarven standards, Gorbad is a cold and calculating menace amongst his own kind. It means he can think. Going as far as valuing tactics, I think that's meant to say, using formations, archers, cavalry and artillery to dominate the battlefield. His violent reputation draws the strongest orcs and goblins to his banner, making him a living legend. So here he is, what he looks like. Lots of nice armour for him. So his battle playstyle. Riding into battle atop his fierce warboar, Nala, Gorbad charges through enemy lines with devastating impact, then engages in brutal close combat with his mighty axe, Morglaw the Mangler. As a frontline support specialist, he excels at both fighting and boosting nearby allies. With fast speed and armor-piercing attacks, Gorbad is a deadly anti-infantry specialist, feared by even the toughest armoured foes. Like the dwarves, armoured foes like the dwarves, he possesses the following abilities. Da Great Leader. So a passive ability, he inspires nearby friendlies, boosting their melee attack and melee defense. That's quite nice, depending on the range of it. Gorbad's Boys, an active ability, increases a charge bonus significantly and increases base weapon damage of a targeted unit within range. Da Boss as a Plan, another active ability. Gorbad makes a unit within range unbreakable and increases their melee defense for a short duration, including making sure Gorbad's plan holds strong without a key component routing. Morglaw the Mangler, active ability. Gorbad's signature axe greatly boosts his armor-piercing damage for a short duration and increases melee attack, turning him into a great dueler and anti-armor killing machine. So here he is on his warboar. I think it was a warboar. Yeah. And his campaign mechanics, the plan. So we'll have a look at them after we've read it. So, a tenacious tactician, Gorbad experiments with unique battle strategies through Da Plan, a mechanic that lets the player devise new tactics by matching different units within their armies. This unlocks powerful bonuses, such as abilities, attributes, stat boosts, and campaign perks. Lords can activate 1 to 3 tactics at a time, depending on their rank. Players on new tactics by completing objectives relating to each tactic, or by Gorbad having a eureka moment. I really confused me how they spelt it then. After he wins a number of battles. So let's have a look. So block and smash them. Block and smash. I assume that blocks. Arrow catcher. I assume they catch arrows. Now, either they're going to take less damage or they're going to replenish when they get hit by them. I don't know. That sounds weird. There you go. So that one is, we can't really tell, and obviously affects certain units. And light them up. So there you go. We can see a bit more light them up there. Enables flammable attacks. Okay. Passive blockers, passive smashers. Okay. We shall see. Anyway, not going to go straight on to the legendary heroes and bits and pieces. We're going to go talk about the other changes first. By other changes, I meant to the other orc and goblin factions. Not greenskins, orcs and goblins. Interesting. So, Skarsnik. What has changed? Skarsnik now has the same recruitment setup as other orc and goblin factions. However, his orc recruitment buildings remain locked until his faction takes control of Karak 8 Peaks. Previously, Skarsnik had unique recruitment buildings without access to orc units, available only through a landmark chain at the 8 Peaks. How does this work? When Skarsnik captures a settlement, any buildings that would provide orc recruitment options, restricted by this new condition, will be demolished if he lacks control of the 8 Peaks. Once Skarsnik occupies the 8 Peaks, these orc recruitment buildings become available, allowing him to recruit the associated units. However, if Skarsnik's faction later loses the 8 Peaks, all orc recruitment buildings across his settlements will be demolished, which means keeping the 8 Peaks at all costs, and a really good way of annoying a player who's playing him. With control of the 8 Peaks, Skarsnik can now construct the orc recruitment chain in any settlement he owns, enabling local orc recruitment beyond just the 8 Peaks. Since the Karak 8 Peaks landmark chain no longer provides exclusive recruitment options, its 3 levels have received a balance pass to enhance their effects. Wurzag the Great Green Prophet. First thing you'll notice is his position has moved to the Southlands. I think they actually did that a little bit ago in like the last patch, so that's not completely new. Wurzag's buildings. A new tier 2 building, Effigies of Gork and Mork, has been created exclusively for Wurzag. This chain is available only at the Savage Orc locations of Darkhold, Argal Mighadal, Ash Ridge Mountains, Urkund, Galbraz, Gorgazan, Jade, a lot of places, and has the following effects. Lore of the Big War spell cooldowns, minus 5% for all characters. Diplomacy of Greenskins buff, Savage Orc recruitment buff in local province, and corruption reduction in local province. Additional context effect if Wurzag has the True Prophet effect. Winds of Magic increased for him, and gives you Savage Orc Biggins and Savage Orc Araboys as the garrison, or extra ones. In addition to all of this, Wurzag also has 3 landmark buildings he can claim in his campaign. Bone Nose Idols in Clextel, Bonewood Totems in the Springs of Eternal Life, and Iron Pens in Stormhenge. Scrap. All scrap upgrades have now been rebalanced in both terms of gameplay effects and cost. Units can now have multiple scrap upgrades, though each additional has an increased cost. This introduces a strategic choice. Create a super scrap army or spread resources across multiple armies. Interesting, I kind of like that. One super scrap army, that's very much my playstyle. Additionally, scrap gains have also been rebalanced to account for the increased number of purchase points, and a full UI overhaul of the system has begun to make it much more player friendly. So there we go. Cool. Wow. Our aim with the WAR improvements is to empower you with additional choices and rewards for interacting with the feature. Firstly, we're increasing the number of units you receive from a successful completion. Secondly, after completing WAR, you will receive a dilemma that gives you the options of choosing what units you will receive, or instead you get some other benefits such as treasure or scrap. As always, the stronger the WAR target, the tastier the options will be. This can be further improved via the tech tree, which can allow you to get more elite units even from a relatively weak WAR levels. You'll also notice WAR units now have their own dedicated recruitment pool rather than just being included alongside regiments of renown. Buildings. We found the current building recruitment tiers of many Orc Goblin units didn't match the actual tier. Basically, general rebalance. Tech trees. We found that Orc and Goblin tech trees had a decent foundation, but its structure was somewhat confusing, with some techs affecting a mixed variety of units instead of maintaining a clear focus. We have made slight redesigns to the structures, conducted a thorough review of each tech to ensure it had a cohesive theme. So we've tweaked it slightly. I can't really tell the differences, but it was a bit of an odd one. Okay. Anyway, now we've gone through that, we're going to go on to the legendary hero and the new units. Snaggler Grobspit. This is the new legendary hero with a terrifying looking mask. That is, yeah. And he has a spider. Snaggler Grobspit is a stealthy and cunning spider rider, skilled at using the dense forest and the canopy to his advantage. With speed and stealth, he and his band of spider riders slip through cover, launching surprise attacks from unexpected angles, often striking from the shadows where enemies least expect them. Fearless in battle, Snaggler charges head-on, using poisons and debuffs to wear down his foes over time. His ambush tactics and strategic positioning make him a lethal anti-infantry assassin, particularly effective against heroes. His fast, deadly strikes have secured him countless victories. So let's have a look at his abilities. So, Inventory of Hatchlings, an active ability. He summons a unit of spider hatchlings to assist him, cover his escape. Can only be used once. Spiderweb attack. Ensnares the enemy hero lord with spiderwebs, preventing them from moving and allowing Snaggler to easily attack them or run away. I'm beginning to see a theme here. Sting of Snaggler. Another active ability. He throws his venom-tipped spear at an enemy lord or hero, dealing massive damage and debilitating them, decreasing their melee attack and defense. Fang Spike. Another active ability. Snaggler's deadly weapon enhances his charge, melee attack, and base weapon damage, providing a bonus when fighting infantry, ideal for situations requiring multiple assassinations. Okay. So, new lords then. The Savage Orc Great Shaman. The Savage Orc Great Shaman is the living conduit of Gork and Mork, wielding significant arcane might that they can't necessarily control, causing them to be a bit mad and prone to spasms of dance. Hailing from the savage orc tribes that fight with primitive stone weapons and shun armor, these shamans are not sophisticated, but excel in any form of battle. Their raw strength and brutality make them a dangerous foe, both in small skirmishes and large wars. As conduits to the orc and goblin gods, Gork and Mork, savage orc great shamans wield arcane power through this connection that often drives them mad. They enthusiastically bludgeon enemies with crude weapons, quickly dispatching challengers. Despite wearing little armor, their physical resistance makes them fierce frontline brawlers, especially in duels. Interesting. I assume they have spells too. Night Goblin Big Boss. The Night Goblin Big Boss is cunning and ruthless, second only to the War Boss. Smaller and more cowardly than other goblins, Night Goblins' natural psychotic tendencies make them fierce and unpredictable in battle, preferring ambush tactics and using darkness to their advantage. As a lone hero, the Night Goblin Big Boss relies on stealth, striking from the shadows with poison and hexes. Cowardly in direct combat, they are best used as assassins, targeting individual foes with precision and backstabbing skill. In campaigns, they carry out covert agent actions, excelling at sabotage and ambush. Black Orcs Axe and Shield Unit. Ooh. Black Orcs are the largest, toughest, and most fearsome of all orcs, known for their dark green or black skin and grim temperament. With unmatched strength and resilience, they are the hardest unit to break in battle. Equipped with shields, Black Orcs excel on the front lines, holding their ground against the fiercest enemies. I mean, they just look like American football players. Just looks like American football padding, doesn't it? But yeah, that's good. That's an interesting change to them. A nice central line for us. Anachronok Spider Flingers unit. The Anachronok Spider Flingers are massive, nearly unstoppable predators equipped with light catapults that launch rocks at enemies, making formidable pieces of monstrous artillery. Specializing in crushing infantry, they devastate enemy lines with ease. Even without their artillery, these spiders are lethal as single entity models, capable of causing chaos on the battlefield. So that's kind of cool. So it's both an artillery piece, but also you can just get it in when needs be. Mangler Squigs unit. So let's have a... I mean, we know what it looks like. Mangler Squigs are a chaotic pair of great cave squigs chained together and driven recklessly charge into enemy lines. They excel at fighting infantry, unsurprisingly, and are particularly effective against heavily armoured foes due to their armour-piercing attacks. Uncontrollable and wild, they often go berserk, making them difficult to direct in battle. Can you imagine that running through your line? The Colossal Squid. These enormous spherical monsters have insatiable appetites and are essentially massive flesh maws lined with scimitar-shaped teeth. As a single entity unit, they are formidable against infantry. Unpredictable and prone to berserk behaviour, they can become uncontrollable at any moment. Additionally, they explode upon death, adding to their destructive nature. That is cool. Bolt Thrower unit. The Bolt Thrower is designed to effectively engage heavily armoured targets due to its significant armour-piercing damage. Primary function as an artillery piece, it excels in targeting large monstrous foes, particularly those with armour. Although the bolt thrower is relatively small compared to other artillery units, it features multiple models, enhancing its overall effectiveness on the battlefield. Why do I think there are going to be 4? And it's going to be exactly the same as all the other bolt throwers, which is fine. Yeah, so that is everything here. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know which faction you are looking forward to the most. Other than that, as always, an extra special thank you to our channel members and patrons. That is Monster Bound, Nose, Andrew T, Prataru, Gavin, Jason Air, Nubion Kenobi, Skrin, Jared Horn, Space Ace 475, and Good Sir Twisted. And thank you everyone for watching. Cheers all.